to relax. You know, you take a few hikes, a few boats rides, a few jeep tours, and you pretty much have done Slovar. Two things stick out in my mind. First of all, well, three. First of all, it's pretty. Second, I never realized that jellyfish love cold water. I've never seen so many jellyfish in my life. You go to any of those areas, right along the coast, out on any of these harbors, you look at jellyfish all over the place. Blew me away. I didn't even expect, it was something I didn't expect. And then the last thing was that, sadly enough, during World War II, Norway was taken over by Nazi Germany. And they have a wonderful museum that used to be Nazi headquarters, which I thought was kind of interesting. The SS, of all people, stormtroopers, nasty, nasty Nazis, right? But still, kind of fun. I mean, things to do and interesting. This, of course, is again northern Norway, north of the Arctic Circle. All right, it was in Norway that I started to turn on to the Vikings. Now, you will see a bunch of very dark pictures. And these are taken inside of museums, and you know when you go into a museum you can take pictures but no flash. All right, so it really kind of screwed me up a little bit. But here is, again, a model of a Viking ship, relatively shallow drafting ship. There were two types, a shallow draft for river travel, river navigation, river raids, and then a deeper draft, kind of cuts off by the slide here, a little deeper draft for ocean-going vessels. And again, the design is always the same, basically midship mast, a basic square sail, and an oarsman running the rudder on the starboard side, the right side, which is traditional for steering ships. In 1903, I believe, was a farmer was looking for, he was digging for gold or something, and he happened upon a buried ship. Now this ship was encased in clay, and the clay adhered to the wood so well that it really hermetically sealed the ship. And once the archaeologists got to it, all they had to do was clean it up, and it was still there. I mean, it hadn't eaten away to nothing. And of course, after a couple of decades of very serious reconstruction, here is that ship. And again, it was this. Unfortunately, I usually don't like people in my pictures. I wish I had more so that you could see that this is not a very big ship. I'll be honest with you, you could fit that ship in this room. Oh yeah, yeah, you could fit that ship in this room. An ocean-going vessel in this room, made out of wood. 30 oarsmen, 15 on the side, so each raiding party had at least 30 men. Well armed, ready to go at it. Wonderful example. You know, I'm starting to get into, the Vikings. Right? That's again, you can see some of the intricate patterns. And these are not necessarily wooden pegs because they did smelt iron, of course, for weapons, certainly weapons and armor. So a lot of these ships were actually nailed together with metal, with iron nails and rivets. This is an artifact that was found on that ship, but it was also found in other ships as well. We're not sure what it is, but we think it's a navigational device, and I tend to agree. This would be used to measure sun angle, because if you know what is the date, and you know what latitude the sun is at 90 degrees on that date, and you can measure the deviation from 90 degrees to the sun angle, you can figure out your latitude. I teach my students to do it, the Vikings could do it. And again, the Vikings navigated with sun angles and stars. No magnetic compasses that I know of. Now here's where Vikings start to get kind of interesting to me. Some of the oldest books in existence in museums around the world are the Viking sagas. This is a 12th century book. Let me see, Gutenberg, I think, what was that, 1450 when Gutenberg, so this is way before that, all hand-scribed on vellum. So the Viking sagas are a combination of history, mythology, some genealogy, all mixed together. How much is true, how much is myth? We don't know for sure. But again,